We are live.
Not happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We are 30 years old. Now, this is the 30th episode of Studio Synergy Artist Hangout. All creatives, not just artists. But I can consider everybody like, writers or artists to me, and so on and so forth. So we're celebrating the 30th episode of Studio Synergy, and this month, September, I'm celebrating 10 years of Not Studios. Lots to celebrate. We have more people that will be joining us. We had a lot more people that said they would make it, so it's just all up in the air, and we'll find out as they arrive. We already got one viewer, so it's insane. But with me today, we have Eric.
Hello.
Oh, easy. We have Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hey.
We have Pippa.
Hello.
Hello. And we have Scotty with us. He's set up. He just joined.
Hey!
He's
Just joining, we're staring at his cat.
Yeah, it's like, is he actually a cat or?
Scotty's actually a talking cat. It's a.
That is a miracle. I was gonna say that's completely new.
Yes. So I'm going to if anybody wants to start the conversation, I'm just going to scan the internet for a moment, just make sure everybody's getting in and whatnot. Pippa, you had some ideas for conversation today?
Yeah, I was because people I was talking to yesterday at the IC, and lots of people were trying to work out ways that it was better to sell their art, because some of them only went to conventions. That's the only time that they'd ever got stuff. Some had websites, some didn't have websites, some had patrons, some didn't. Because I went around and I grabbed everybody's business card and handed out my business cards, because what I do anyway. And the whole building, they had 3 floors, and so the ground floor was all the indie artists, and then you had the higher up you went, the more famous the artists got, and the less interest they would have in me talking to them in any way, shape, or form. So I stuck with the indie kids. But yeah, lots of them were really interested in finding out ways of getting better publicity and the best ways to sell their art. So I kind of wondered if there's certain things that you guys have gone about doing to sell your art, or whether it's doing commissions, or do you have stores that sell it, or what way do you go about doing it?
All right.
Right.
Anybody want to jump in? I have my thoughts. Okay.
Well, we're waiting for your guidance and
Okay.
and
You are the host. You're the one who's supposed to do it.
Okay. Well, I'll start off first, and then we'll jump into everybody else. I'm in the process of really reorganizing not only the studio, but my PC, make sure everything on there is organized. But what comes after that is the internet, and I'm all over the place. I got stores set up. I got stores I haven't opened officially yet. I got projects in the works. But as far as selling outside of conventions, the best way is, number one, up an online presence. Even if you can focus solely on one, you could be on Twitter, you could be on Facebook, you could be on YouTube, whatever, and do it every day, and just connect with people, comment on their stuff, show them what you're working on. You sort of build up a dialogue day by day of what you're working on, and how well you're doing it, and people take an interest. And I've been on Facebook the longest. MySpace way back when, but that's gone and done. But Facebook since 2008 in somebody's message. And I have to check this because it's probably my girl. Yeah. So I on Facebook. Sorry. Oh, it's our neighbor wants to borrow the car. Lisa. I should hold on a second.
By the way, is there a way to share the live feed, or does that?
Oh no, people can watch it. Yeah, there's a link in the
okay.
page.
Share the live feed. Share the video, which is I put the link to the event page. Oh wait, hold on.
I mean, I seem to be able to post on Facebook the link that's in the email that I received a little bit earlier.
Sorry. Okay. There's links. Do you see at the bottom of the Hangout? There's something called links. There's a YouTube page there. I'll put it into the chat.
I don't see that at the bottom of my page. On the bottom of my page, I only see the heads and full screen view.
Yeah, I put it into the chat.
Oh, into chat. Oh, excuse me.
Okay. So that's the YouTube video that you share out.
Oh, great. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry to derail.
No, I was
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
our neighbor.
Yep.
He had an accident. He got hit by a car, hit and run.
Whoa.
Oh, geez.
Whoa.
So he's almost fully recovered, but he had bad damage on his foot and leg. He was on riding a scooter, and a guy just bashed him up a bit. Good guy. So we have Daniel is in the chat, possibly in the Hangout. Okay, so anyway, really just like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, wherever you're at, make a stamp. Like, be excellent at what you do, or even imperfect is okay too. It's just consistency of posting and connect with people. I've been doing it for years. I guess this will be 8 years. And Daniel's having problems getting in. But yeah, just like via Facebook, via Twitter, the DeviantArt. I'm on LinkedIn, but they're like most of the sites I'm on, gigs off of, whether it's for commissions or inking jobs or just by connecting with people, other artists, publishers, people on the street, everything and anything. You see who has interest in like I'm a big fan of movies and TV, so I connect with people on that level. And you just post, like, if you set up a store, which is super easy nowadays, so many different ones, you could point people to it, link it in a post. I'm on Patreon, or my student on Patreon.
Okay.
I think his mic's working because I hear loud typing.
Yeah.
Either that or it's Morse code.
It's Morse
Does anyone know Morse code?
It sounds a bit like jungle drums or something like that.
But I mean, that's the easiest way is to really put yourself out there.
It's a matter of being in the right place at the right time and making sure people actually acknowledge that you're there in the first place.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's almost like, if this was before internet, you sort of you open the store, and eventually enough people are going to pass it that they'll take interest and come in, and you sort of spread the word over time. On the internet, it's just a matter of setting up somewhere or setting up in multiple places. Like if I see somebody doing amazing art and I find them on Twitter, I go look to where else they are and follow them everywhere. Because the internet is so fickle, and algorithms and all that, you can miss more than you see. So I want to make sure that like I run into this person again. I have 1,000 bookmarks, but I don't see most of my friends' posts, as it is. So which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But yeah, set up a store. There's Store Envy, where I'm at. Big Cartel, amazing stores you can set up, and for cheap or nothing, and have product. Make a print, make a mini comic, make some original artwork. If you're an artist trying to make a living off of that. If you're a writer, then write a short story, put it on Amazon Kindle.
Yeah,
Well,
I would. No,
I actually have a lot of input. If I could jump in and be number 2 here to answer the topic, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It really depends. Since we're all like illustrators and writers, it goes for both. The first thing is make sure that your project is finished. Now, you can have a written book, say, on Tapastic or a webcomic on Tapastic, because now they feature both. Those are 2 areas you can have it in. The first thing you always tell yourself is have something that you're finished, that you're very proud of, and have it, you've looked over it forward and backwards, had a friend, check it out. Now, before you put it online to show it off, make sure it's something that's, polished up to the best of your ability, and then start showing it off to the world. Now, it all depends. You have to think about this very quickly, very calmly, is that your audience, regardless if on what site it's on, what site you use, your audience is going to grow naturally. It takes time. There's no such thing as overnight success. And I actually did a test on that. I did a quick comic strip, basically of my cat and dog, just some daily antics. And then I created a fan page for it on Facebook, and then I let it sit kind of dead for about a year. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to gauge to see how much interactivity, how much non-activity would show up. And I would post maybe like a strip here and there, maybe a few months down the road, something new. I just wanted to see how algorithms work, how engagement would work. And then I posted something like a whole new strip of something completely different, like a fantasy-based series. And it was something that was my heart and soul poured into it. So something that I put my effort into it and something I didn't put effort into it. And I noticed that it had a really weird engagement. And what I noticed was, even if you sit your comic strip on a dead spin, you still get some, you get at least maybe 100 to 200 people viewing and searching for that. Even if something as basic as a cat and dog and you only update every 3 months. No matter what, people are going to search for whatever your work is based on. If it's based on fantasy, if it's based on dark humor, if it's based on a cat and dog, if it's based on this weird interaction you have with your plumber from day to day, those are just examples. But no matter what, there's always going to be at 100, 200 people that are going to look for something that you're working on. Now, Peter is right that you should post just about every day, and that's correct. You should post to keep an engaging audience, because you can keep your audience, let them know that, hey, I'm posting work just about every day. I'm working on stuff. It's not quite finished, but it's always there. And you can tell from any analytics report that comes in that there's I know several hundred people viewing it. They may not like it. They may not buy something from you, but your audience is still growing. It's not something that's just generated out of thin air. People are actually doing searches to find out more about you. Even if they stumble across you by accident, you're getting viewership, and that isn't coming out from, like, I don't know, from Cyberdyne Industries. I mean, Jesus, everybody's seen Terminator, right? Sure. All right. But the point, but also, when you post anything online, make sure that it's work that you feel comfortable showing off. You know, don't show off something that you feel 50% like comfortable with. People are going to share your work. Some people are going to like right click and copy it for like an image or two or a thumbnail sketch. That's fine. Go ahead, just let that happen. As long as it's something that you feel comfortable of showing off. People like me, I can alter the metadata to the point where if somebody tries to right click on something of mine, it's going to pop up and you're going to see 2 words and one of them is going to be a swear word. So it's just something that I do. If you want some instructions on how to do that, I could totally give those ideas for free. The next topic I want to say is, this was really part of the topic was artists that show off at conventions and shows. If you have a webcomic, you can show it as like on webcomic apps. First, do your research and find out which webcomic site are the best that have like the most viewership. And if you want to have your webcomic available there, then do your research, make sure that this is the place that you fit properly with everywhere else. Another piece of advice that I can give is, as long people want to find out more about your book, you can create, let's say, like a web page or a blog that has more info about the work that you're creating, because people want to go to like one source, one area, one website that you have built, that they want to find more about your book or your product or your just your life's work, and they want to go find out, because Google isn't going to be much. They'll do a search, or Bing, or whatever search engine you use. They may see it in webcomics, they may see them in posts and forums, but a lot of customers that I've noticed, and a lot of people that like doing searching you out, they want to find one site where you put the info of your work into one spot, where people have found that golden nugget. Like, they want to find that room, that area, that one place that you have created that has all the info they're looking for your webcomic. For example, if you create a comic book that's a graphic novel, like 48 pages, and they're like, man, look at these stories, look at these characters, that's wonderful. I want to find out more about this. I want to find more about the artist. Is there a place that I can find out more about this guy? Oh, I've read up reviews on him, but is there a site that this guy has built where it's basically like a resource, kind of like a treasure trove in a way? People will definitely flock to find out more about it. Okay, that's it.
No, that was good.
Oh.
That was good.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, would you agree? Like, it's been at least my experience anyway, because I've had this question a lot about, you know, where to sell or how to do this sort of thing. I do yearly commissions, mostly private commissions that are people walking up to me either at shows or in other social situations, but that are unrelated to comics and genre stuff. But I also do get through the internet, and the thing is, like I always say, is unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it's sort of a double-edged sword, right? That there is no magic community. There are communities, and when I say community, I mean, you know, like we're talking about DevArt and all of these different places, and Society6 and all of them. I suppose you could probably do some good, you know, market investigation, and you could see like where different types of people buying certain genres are maybe more gravitating towards a particular market or another. But the only surefire way, at least to start, is you really need to like make accounts everywhere, and you need to, unfortunately, you got to pick your day of the week, and you got to dump everything into every place at a regular basis, and kind of stimulate all of those. You got to basically spin a lot of plates at once until, you know, maybe a year or so later when you start to see where where the fish bite, and then you kind of know where you can concentrate even more. That was my experience, and I was an early adopter of anything. When Flickr came out, I went on Flickr. When DeviantArt came out, I was on DeviantArt. So I just kept adding to the bundle. And initially, that's the only thing that really worked, was just being everywhere, you know, as much as possible.
I suppose I've been doing that with like the Google Guide stuff. I mean, I only started doing what I do in April this year. So I've only been doing it since April, and now I suppose the audience from what I'm doing has increased by 200% and a bit, I guess. But it's been weird how I've been able to network. Like it's traveled through like weird groups. So when I first started doing it, it was like unusual products, and then I ended up in with like authors working on lots of different stuff, so like Crystal Lake Publishing and Nocturnicorn, and people that sort of belong to these places or own these publishing companies. And then I helped out with The Untold and ended up with comic book artists, in which I can't draw anything. So it's interesting to learn more from the perspective of artists than from the perspective of writers, because that's something I've never been around before, and I find that really fascinating.
Yep.
So I wanted to mention, Gerimi, you able to jump in? Gerimi's here. So get set up, I guess. Daniel was here. I guess he dropped out again. So it will continue like that. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, I have something else to add into everybody else's responses, and that's this works out for me. You can try it if you like. Pick one day out of the week where you're going to do a massive kind of exposure to about like your works yourself, like one day out of the week. Say, for example, Thursday. Just say, hey, I'm going to announce some new stuff on Thursday about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Please be on the lookout. And you'll be surprised how many people are going to look and they're like, it's like 12:59. Oh, it's 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. All right, you know, are they going to post anything? And sure enough, you do. You post it like Flickr, DeviantArt, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. You do it all kind of like around the same time that week, once a week, and you're going to see your viewership go up. And a lot of people are going to kind of get hooked into that time of day, every day, every 7 days, because they're going to be waiting for like the next time you come around and start delivering stuff. And I find that, you know, that's really helpful. That actually helps grow your audience faster, but at the same time, it keeps you at a schedule.
So that's similar to something I suggested earlier on today when I was talking about it, because I tend to deal in the publicity side of things. I was talking about that. So if you had like a back catalogue of product that you sold regularly, so a certain selection of prints, say, you know, 10, 11 different prints, and then once a month, it was a thing that every month you released a new design, you'd be able to get that design on whatever product you wanted, sort of thing. But that kind of idea, I mean, that gets people hyped up for the new release each month, on top of the fact that they can always get hold of the general catalogue stuff. Once that design's added to it, you know, it joins the catalogue and you increase it that way. But you're not always sort of burning yourself out working on so many different ideas to build up an audience.
Very good. Anybody else want to jump in?
Is Gerimi here?
I am here. I was just getting set up. Are you guys able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Totally.
Awesome. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. I mean, I keep seeing them happening every week or every couple of weeks. I'm like, I need to get back in there. But, you know, life, as everyone knows, is crazy. It's crazy for all of us. So.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
By the way,
I'm back
you
to
look,
doing
you
these
look
weekly.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm back to doing these weekly, so
Okay.
I mix up the time I do them, but in order to get different people into it, different times for different people's schedules, whatever. But yeah, great to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
So is that your art table? That's a awesome angle.
The clipboard.
Oh yeah, I keep it elevated. It's basically as high as my table will go, which it's keeps me from basically it's just keep me from hunching over, getting a bad back. I like the elevated as opposed to drawing flat, and I get less visual distortion. Some people can draw just fine on a flat table, but I noticed I do that thing where my figures get wider at the top ends because it's tilted away from me. So this helps alleviate that problem too.
How's your camera set up?
Well, I have what's crazy is because it's a webcam, I can literally take it off its mount and give you the zoom out angle of what's going on here. So here you can see that's the whole drawing table setup.
Awesome.
And then I have it on a stand that is above the drawing table. I just hook it on that clip. So that's what you were looking at was the down view of the drawing table from there. When I record, my my videos of me just working in progress, usually I have my iPhone in here and record straight from the phone.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to message you for specs. I need a better camera setup.
Yeah, no problem. I actually made a YouTube video of what my setup was, simply because people kept asking, and I also found I haven't gone through and rejiggered mine because I'm pretty happy with what I have, but a lot of people responded with, have you tried this? Have you tried that? So a few other links inside that YouTube video for some other ideas for setups that I thought were very clever. So, it's the nice thing about the internet, like what we're doing here, talking about our process and how we do things, you just find things that it wouldn't even occur to us to try. So,
yeah, absolutely. I just did before this hangout, I just did my first working Facebook Live stream. First time I did it, I didn't have the sound working for whatever reason. It took me a while to figure out. But actually, because I do it via my computer, I can't point my computer screen to my drawing table. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to connect my webcam into that stream. But anyway, it was fun.
Well, I was gonna say I know that that Facebook Lives have been really popular, just like the Google Hangouts. I've been meaning to try one. I have not yet discovered whether I could do a Facebook Live through my phone, because if I can, then I don't have to change my setup at all. I just put my phone in a little clamp on my stand and carry on business as usual.
Yeah, Facebook Live is actually kind of primarily for a phone.
It's an app, so it's a Facebook app.
Yeah.
Go live. You'll see in the home stream on Facebook. At the top will be, what's on your mind kind of thing, but it will say go live or whatever the exact words are, if you're capable of doing it. And you should be by now. For a while, it was like they were doling it out to one person here, one person there, but now I believe everybody can. I see people going live all the time, and it's like, get out of my notifications. It's like I have enough trouble following people.
Yeah, the notification thing gets hard because there's so many people I want to keep track of, and I'm interested in what they're doing and supportive of what they're doing. But then having to shut the world out for like a half hour there, 45 minutes there, so I'm like, I genuinely just need to focus and get stuff done. So,
but part of the reason I do these hangouts is exactly for that reason. Like, it allows me to talk with my friends and hang out and talk about art, talk about comics, talk about whatever, our processes and stuff, and like, you know, that I wouldn't normally have the opportunity to do outside of these. So it's, you know, it's like I'm glad I'm doing these again weekly. And oh, I will mention tomorrow. I guess I kind of said it before, but tomorrow it goes from Google Plus. The live hangouts go from Google Plus to YouTube, and on YouTube you need more. You got to have more of a real setup. It's not just hit a button and it goes. You got to have an encoder and all technical mumbo jumbo. But you know, I did it at least once before. Hey, we have a new person. Hello.
That doesn't look like a Sarah.
No.
Also, they were tilted for a second there.
Hey. How's it going? Sarah?
Sarah. I don't know if the microphone's working for him.
Yeah. I don't think I gave the link out like that, but welcome.
That's Dan.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's Dan.
That's Dan.
That looks like him. He's like, I can't sign in. Use other person's computer. Oh, that he just left.
Anyway, that was weird.
No, that was
I
definitely
was literally just
Dan.
said Sarah Louise came in. I was just like, well, I know that's not a Sarah.
The hangout's been hacked.
unless the name Sarah is unisex.
Did you see that profile pic? It looked like one on the profile. Yeah, you know, once in a while, strange things happen in these hangouts, and that was one of the things.
Hey, that was a nice little chuckle to have. So.
But yeah, okay, so to live stream on YouTube, it's a little more technical, but you can have live comment feed, which is amazing and awesome, and I do want to get back to that.
I'm
And then
looking forward to that side of things.
there are like other features I haven't used. I used a lot of different things before, as far as the Hangouts go, like other different features like audience involvement. I don't know, a whole bunch of things. But I think that the live stream comments are the absolute best thing. So I'll do more research, get back into doing that, and the next one will be via YouTube, and we'll see how that works out. Actually, I'm going to be doing a independent crossroads with Gaz from D100s during the week, and so that will actually be my first test of streaming YouTube in a while. So
You've only done it once, so. What else is going on with everybody?
Can I throw in?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of promotion for an organization that I helped start with. I know that Peter knows this guy, Michael Wagner, formerly from Nacogdoches, Texas, but he moved here to Vermont, where I live. Actually, we're next door neighbors, which is really weird because we didn't even know we were neighbors until after we formed this organization. But let me get it popped up on here on the thing.
Playmate is Greg's name. But
Yeah, that's my moniker, and it's like an old character that I've still never done a book with, but I think this might be the year or next year I'd do a book with. Let me share this here. Can I stop sharing? Okay, there we go. Thank you. Here we go. So about a year and a half ago, Mike and I started a group here in Burlington, Vermont called Vermont Comic Creators Group. And basically, it was originally started as just a means for anybody who was making comics, whether they were just dipping their toes in and starting to like kind of figure out how to do the medium at all the way up to people who are professionals around here, and also in between a lot of indie DIY comics creators, right? So we had a meetup thing. It's been on Sundays, and then we have progressed to, we're very motivated to become like Vermont's comic arts organization for the state. So we represent the creators in terms of Facebook and other public social means. We're mostly on Facebook right now, which actually seems to be incredibly powerful for us, so that's great. But obviously we're going to probably have to get very split personality and start doing Twittering and other stuff, I'm sure. But yeah, so
I might be oddly helpful with that. I actually know Vermont quite well. I actually know the WVMT radio team. I've actually been on the radio when I've been over in Vermont, so I could probably put you in contact with the
that would be,
WVMT radio in Vermont.
That would be terrific. Well, I'll put in our personal chat my email address, and that would be great if you'd like to contact me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I know like Ernie Farrand and a few of the other people there, because I ended up on the radio one year when I was over in Vermont talking about biscuits in the UK.
That's awesome.
Because I was English. They wanted me on the radio because I was English and I was visiting.
Yeah, so basically we represent now, we're just about to hit 120 comic creators, and from pretty much from people who work for Image or other paid comics work. I don't know if you're seeing now, this is just a few of our members here. To the brunt of them are people who publish their own stuff, and some people who have graduated from the cartoon school in White River Junction, James Sturm's school down there, and hold on just a moment. I'm going to be going probably around 4:15, so I may not be everybody here. But if you can be back by like 4:20 or something, can you do that? About 20 minutes walk?
Well, we have to do it for like at least half an hour.
Okay. I'll try to wait until you get back. Sorry about that, kid stuff. Yeah, so we've done a really good job of promoting creators and meeting up together and forming a really good unit. There's a core group, and then there's a bigger population of creators that join, and we're having very furious sign-up sort of stuff going on. We've been at 2 of Vermont Comic Cons, and that's been a great relationship with Jason Moulton, who runs that. And the next thing that we have just started doing, like in July, we went to a kids science center and did a full day of comics education, and kind of doing individual stuff with kids and group stuff with kids, showing them how to make comics and stuff. And that's a future part of the organization as we become, more official, doing drop-in stuff, comics labs, and bringing the medium in a grassroots way to people in the state.
Cool.
So that's what I've been really busy with for quite a while. Not a lot of comic making, more like with Mike. Mike and I have been doing a lot. I was just about to say a crap load, but I wouldn't say that. We've been doing a lot of, organizational, creation. So, and it's been very fulfilling.
Awesome. It's like I've been wanting to do a couple of classes around here, and now that it's the comic store, I spoke to them about doing one there. I could do one at the library. It's something I'm very interested in working with kids who have interest in making comics or making art or becoming a writer. Any aspect of anything that I do. It's just time. And it doesn't help that really, as far as I know, at the moment, there's nobody working in comics in this town other than me. You know, there's people who have interest in comics, you know, but I'll research further and you know, see if there's any compatriots around, so then we can double up our efforts and do our own thing.
I mean, I would recommend that, you know, the best way to, like, what we did was, because we had a double pronged sort of, you know, we had two sets of motivations for the organization. But early on, it was mostly about us. But the thing is, like, just pick, whether it's just you or if you can get together a few people to come in that maybe are, you know, close enough that you can drive in and you can pull together a little event. The best thing to do is just like strive for the most doable, and I hate to say this, easiest to put together events that will yield the most likely to be 100% successful, and then move another couple of baby steps. And if you set your goals extremely tight and compact and doable, the only thing that happens publicly is everybody says, hey, yeah, every time Peter does this thing, it's always really cool and my kid has fun, or adults, you know, because adult classes are also really important. They also have more, you know, they have sometimes more money. But that's the only thing I would recommend, because that's been our strategy since day one, and it's only led to us growing in a healthy way, you know. Nothing too grandiose, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
And building those it's amazing what can happen in a community if they get used to you doing what you say you're going to do, even in a simple manner, and people like it and they walk away happy. That can be just extremely powerful for any form of this kind of entrepreneurism, you know. Yeah. And I would say that, getting back to the other topic too, that can be not a guaranteed way, but it can be an interesting way to influence local sales of whatever it is that you think you want to sell, because people don't just want to learn from you. They will want to know what books you're making, and oftentimes the parents or the younger readers or even adults that come to these things, you know, they're going to want to buy your book, or it's very likely, because it turns a little bit into a author signing on a certain level, you know.
Yeah, I did do free comic book day where I did 3 sketches, and I know I made a lot of new fans there. Everybody had a good time. Me especially. It was probably the best experience I've had so far. I don't want to do free sketches again, but
no.
I was working on those like a month after, you know. I just had a list that I went through, but that's probably the most art of my own, you know, penciling that I did of late, and it was a great experience, and I know a lot of them were super happy with the pieces I did for them. So yeah, to branch out and go into, like, you know, this is how you make a mini comic, and you know, I'll start out with let's draw a Disney character, you know.
Oh yes.
And go from there.
You know, it's amazing what you can do with very few parts, and make people sort of light up when they realize it doesn't have to be this you know, extravagant experience. You can always work up to an extravagant experience, but what can happen in the tiny level of it can be quite powerful for people. There's one of our core group creators, Stephanie Zuppo, who's a cartoonist from Vermont here. She went to the school. She does this incredibly cool thing, which actually I know that another comic creator invented. Basically, you take it's a one-sheet comic, and it's basically folding up the one sheet into several pages, and then you tear it off, and you kind of accordion it together, and then suddenly you have, you know, this little fold-up comic that people just spent a short period of time making, and suddenly it's in their hand. So even on that like rudimentary level, whether it's a child or an adult, that can be a huge launching point to break their sort of notion that the medium is somehow elitist or only for very, very seasoned professionals or something. And so it can be even little things like that can be powerful tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, hell, back in the old days and even today with a lot of the newspaper strips and all, some of that artwork is sometimes rudimentary. So it's just nice to say, it's like, hey, you don't have to draw like Jim Lee to do good things. You can draw however you want and make it work.
Yeah. The only thing that I would maybe add to that is that it is the case, though, that even the newspaper strip that is not drawn well or has a crude style is still has an elite layer on it, because King Features or some syndicate is publishing that work, even an independent syndicate for small papers. So people still can feel very timid at that. In other words, that they're up there, I'm down here, and so I think I agree. It's really encouraging to be able to point out to them that like not everybody is Bern Hogarth or whomever. Although I'm dating myself by saying Bern Hogarth, but whatever. That not everybody's in that elite class. But they still are getting paid, and they're sort of in this strata. But it's great to point that out, because it does, I think I agree very much that it helps to break the ice with them, that there's, like you said, like everybody has this idea about books that look like Jim Lee's or just anybody who's seasoned, and that there's room for other kinds of drawing and other kinds of visual communication within paneled narrative art, Yeah.
I would like to add something like, if you have interest in being a comic book artist or anything, approach, people on the internet, on Facebook, like message somebody directly, be kind, courteous, but you'd be amazed at what some high up professionals or people you think are high up professionals will address you like right away and respond and interact and engage with you, because we're all freaking just working out of studios too many hours without human interaction. That's why half of us are like checking Facebook every once in a while, because we just want people are still out there and
we want to feel like we're not just sitting in caves all day going, what is this light?
Yeah. So
we step outside and we're blinded.
I totally recommend that.
Stepping outside.
If you have an interest in,
well, that for one, yes.
Yeah.
Stepping outside is a very rare occasion.
Well,
step outside, you hear a bird chirp. It's like, what is that? Is it going to kill me?
Yeah, it's the ball of light.
Well, here's something that I do, and it could probably work for everybody here, is that I'll work like at my desk for 4 hours straight, and most of it will either be client work or my own project. And after 4 hours, it's like I got to go up, I got to get up out of my office, which is my apartment, and like go step outside. And like the first thing I'll do is either walk a dog, or I'll make it a point to do some chores, like running to downtown area, because I live in Chicago. And I'll like, let me go hit up a friend somewhere by a coffee shop and just say, hey, man, can I hang out with you for like 30 minutes and just chat? Like, yeah, sure. And you go and do that. You come back. You feel refreshed. You've already spent like probably about roughly an hour or so away from your desk. You come back and you're like, you know what? Because you're already in the mindset of, geez, I got to get back to my desk and get ready and put my nose to the grindstone and get at this project so I can finish it today. And you're already eager before you step in the door to come back in and work. And then you do it again, and I work another 4 hours, and I've already spent like 8 hours out of my day so far on a project, and I'm already looking forward to the next time I get up and I go look to see what I need to do, like get up and after 4 hours in the afternoon and go, oh, I better eat something, or I better figure out like what to have for dinner. Like, I better have a conversation with my wife, let her know I'm okay.
It must be nice
little
having
things like
friends close
Very
by
nice
that
of
you
you.
can actually go visit.
Exactly. Like, hey, honey, how are you? Oh, hey, you're still alive. All right. Hey, this is what I need to get done. Can you fix the plumbing? Or two. What? Stuff like that.
See, I don't know if I'm in a better off position or a worse off position, because I'm assuming. See, I work 40 hours a week anyway, and then I do the other stuff I do on top of that. So I probably do close to another 40, 50 hours a week on the Google Guide stuff and the writing that I do and the other projects I've got going on. So I don't really have time to sit there and go, oh God, I'm frustrated with what I'm doing. I literally have no time. But I do find that because I have such limited time, it's either I do it or I don't. So some projects just end up getting pushed aside because I just have no time to work on anything at all. And I would love to just have this be my full-time job because it would make me so happy. But I'm not quite in that position yet. I'm not in that realm yet. But hopefully I will be someday. And that's such a cute cat. I'm sorry, I'm being so distracted.
She knows when I'm filming, and she constantly is trying to climb up on the drawing table and get into pictures. So
Of course.
her name's Kachu. We named her after one of the main characters from Strangers in Paradise.
Oh, I think you were talking about a sneeze. I was like,
Those Strangers in Paradise. Yeah, it's like we currently have 4 of our cats in our home. The others are at the sanctuary. But if I open my door to them hang out in here, more often than not, the first thing they do is jump on my desk. And lately, they've just been dragging cat litter all over my desk. So I try to keep the door closed if I'm thinking I freak out about them spilling it.
See, the problem is that if I close the door, they freak out. They will just be outside of the door yowling, and I really can't get any peace. So for the most part, if I just give them a little attention, pet them for a few minutes, then they'll be like, all right, we got our show time. We got to be the center of attention. We'll settle down now. Like even now, she's getting a little squirmy being in my arms. I think I can put her down now, and she'll settle down. But my biggest problem is it's 2 things. It's weird. Am I the only one who, for people who have cats, the cats crawl on your desk, they get fur on your mouse pad, and then if you have an optical mouse,
it's
the
over.
little hairs like screw up the way the optical mouse works. It screws up the laser, and then I have to like take the mouse apart and like blow the air out of the lens. Does that happen to anybody else, or is it just me?
no cat.
I don't have a cat anymore, so I don't have that problem.
Well, I've got that, and then for some reason they seem to like to chew on my my Wacom stylus, which I really don't want that. That's no good. That can't happen.
Well, I haven't had a chew on a Wacom stylus yet, but I've had some issues on my desk where I find fur either on my printer or on my tablet, on my drawing tablet, or my my wireless mouse. I've noticed it's been moved around a lot by the time I show up here in the morning. So at night, somebody's been playing with it.
Nope.
It's not the dog because he doesn't care, so it's only the cat who plays with it.
Mm-hmm.
I see all the evidence of fur and cat paws all over my drawing desk. Like, ugh, all right.
But that's when you come in the morning and you're like, oh, there's fur on my desk and there's fur on the pad and there's some like beautiful, amazing sketch, and you're just like, right, now which one of the cats did this?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm claiming it. They can't say anything against it. It's mine. It's mine.
It turns into big eyes, but it's big paws.
Yeah.
I love my new PC, but it's a touchscreen, and with cats, they've like screwed up my whatever I was working on screen a couple of times. So that's another reason why. Like, get out of there! Stop making my art better.
Yeah, I can't. I have no pets. My roommate has rats, and that's awesome. I love them, but I'm just glad I don't have that kind of animal that would, decide to butt up against my, whatever, because it would just end up becoming somebody else's cat in about 24 hours.
No.
Like, that'd be that.
I've got a dog, but she doesn't come upstairs. She's too lazy. She just sleeps.
Well, sure, and the dog's not going to get up on the table and, knock
No,
over your...
she's not that interested in art or writing. I mean, I can't imagine her typing at my keyboard.
Exactly.
Yeah, get a bit of Shakespeare going.
Hey, Pippa, there was something when you were saying that, obviously you just have this incredibly high-impact week and month schedule, so it's very hard for you to just kind of maybe, for you it might be a bit frivolous to try to go out and, get some socializing and that sort of thing.
Socialize at all.
Right. But, would there be any benefit for you and any other, I don't know where in England you are, supposing that you are in England, but
yes.
Where would there be any benefit to trying to start a social circle so that you can get meetups going? Because that's like a once a month thing, and usually once a month it's easier for people to to schedule, especially if it's we always do around the middle Sunday of the month, for instance. People get in the groove, and then you get connected at least with other creators, which has pure social value. You drink beers, you eat pizza, or whatever you do, but it does have a tremendous amount of over time it ups your ante in terms of your work and your productivity, and even coping with the stress of. So I would just encourage, if you have that kind of ability to set something like that up with people you're networked with, I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I live in a little village in the middle of nowhere, but within the next 2 months, I'm moving into the town nearby where I work with the other half of the Girl Guides. So we're getting a house together, building a studio, doing all that kind of stuff. So, because it's just, we've been trying to rent a place for ages, and so we finally just got settled on somewhere. We're waiting to get all the paperwork sorted and move in and build a studio in the cellar and work from there. Because all we do really is the recording side. Everything else we'd probably end up doing upstairs. Right. Writing, I can write wherever. But yeah, we definitely would have more people coming over to do meetups. It's just we currently live about 20 minutes apart from each other, and I don't drive.
Yeah.
And my village, my village is one of those cliche, really old English villages that you kind of see looking very twee in pictures.
She lives in the Shire.
Yeah.
I live in the Shire. Literally, it's where I live is based. The Shire in Lord of the Rings is based on that.
That's great.
So that was yeah.
So
I can hopefully get
do you have kind of old crinkly stoop-backed people with old straw brooms going, something like, oh, that girl Pippa, she's doing that comics stuff up there. We don't know what's going on. Are they all squint? Do they have that one eye squinted and kind of looking at you funny because you're doing comics or something? Or
sorry, what did you say? I'm sorry. I've been.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was just wondering when you said the Shire. Right. When you said the Shire, I was wondering, do you have old, wrinkly, stooped back people, with straw brooms sweeping their front stoops, going, "Oh, that Pippa, what's she doing with them comics?"
They all live in little holes everywhere. It's just hills everywhere.
Not quite, but. No, we don't quite have them you walk past their little round houses and have them.
No,
but my village is over 1,000 years old. It's in the Doomsday Book. We have the black and white buildings. There's 5 churches and 5 pubs, and so I sort of say, is it they kind of throw themselves out of the churches and go, God, I really need a drink, or is it they go to the churches after the pubs because they're repenting from the amount they've drunk.
I think that's the mutually assured. Wealth of both places is that's the deal they make, right? It's we'll make them feel guilty, and you get them really lushed up, and everybody wins, so it's good.
But
but you're gonna have your own place.
Me right now? No.
No,
I will have to.
You guys will have this plan to have a conjoined living, like a cooperative studio situation.
It's gonna be
very different.
And
that would be interesting.
Stuff out.
Yeah, it would be interesting as you network with other creators, because then you guys would have clearly the ability to host. That would be really interesting.
No, definitely. I mean, that's what we want to do, is we want to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm trying to get out and about. It's like, okay, so in October I'm going to a Halloween party, and that's with a writer who I reviewed his book, and I got invited by him and his fiance to go to the Halloween party. So I'm going to be interviewing him there in full costume, which is going to be really interesting. But it's like, yeah, it's trying to meet up with other people from around the UK that I can meet up with to get stuff. Because it's like where I live, I mean, creator-wise, I mean, I managed to meet up with some artists. I suppose yesterday I met up with a couple of artists whose stuff I've reviewed before, and that was great. But it's quite a rarity for me to meet up with anybody. No, but no, I definitely want to try.
That you met a few people and.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. It was a good day. It was a good day. It was nice to meet lots of people. Lots of people were really interested in finding out about this, the studio synergy. They were all really, really like excited and going, oh yeah, where can I get the link to watch? Where can I do this? So most people, I told them that the link would be on the Google Guide site, so they could go find it through there and stuff. So yeah, and it's sort of like I mentioned you, and you had lots of people fangirling, so that was all right.
we had like 7 people viewing at one time. There's 4 currently. I just put out messages for last call if anybody else wanted it in.
Well, I'm going to have to disappear for like 5 minutes and find out what I was needed for, but I will be back.
Okay, cool. Craig, you said a quarter after or something?
Yeah, I can linger for probably about 5 or 10 more. So.
Oh, okay. Well, before you go, put out, say your links and whatnot, just to make sure.
Yeah, I'm actually cutting and pasting everything together as we speak, so that I can just do it in one big ka-chunk here.
Well, you could do it in the.
Because now I have now I have so many links to Choco Horse with the group and everything else, so it'd just be easier to do that. Just give me a second, and I'll be right with you. Okay?
Gotta get your contact list going.
Yeah, I'll also type my 2,000 contact list and my mother's maiden name and.
Oh, okay.
Got to get it all sorted.
And my social security number as well.
I just ran up because Dan was talking about like new technology, so he can do stuff like this, and now I'm sitting here on Amazon, just like computers.
Exactly. So do you want me to do it in the chat box?
Yeah. I'll keep it open and make sure I grab it. That'll be good.
Okay, there's the pile.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but basically my website is flameape.org. I do have a Flameape Art of Gregory Giordano Facebook page. The book that I've been currently working on is Holiday Mountain Madness. It's a weird Western comic about Doc Holliday resurrected from the dead as a warlock gunfighter. There's a web page for the book and also a Facebook page for the book. And then the last 2 links are the Vermont Comic Creators website and public Facebook page.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and I'll put all links in the description box of the video probably tomorrow, but I'll grab them all today. If anybody else here wants something other than, in addition to your YouTube channel link, you could put it in the Facebook chat group going on, or just message me direct, whatever. I'll grab it and put it in there.
By the way, if any of you guys want to read Holiday Mountain Madness #1, I have an online PDF. You can't download it, but you can flip book through it, and it's right here.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff. So
thanks.
Go check it out. Well, with the webcomic, Greg.
What's that? What's that now?
It's going well with the holiday.
I haven't updated web at all since first printing it, like finishing the 40-page version.
Right.
This year, like in about a month, I'm going to start back on new pages. I've been working a lot of work, like paid work, so it's been had health problems. So I'm finally at a point where I can start working on the next chapter. We're considering not posting everything on the web for the second issue, and only partial for the second issue, and kind of going over to a model that would be like, it sort of cuts at a place that would not be just this sort of brutal, snapping the TV off place, but like a place that cliffhangers, but as an incentive to actually buy the book, and I'm probably going to alter how it's displayed as for the first issue set of pages and do the same thing, basically truncate it at a place that's interesting, but would, like incentivize buying the paper book, or
Right.
buying PDF, or buying, whatever the formats are. Yeah. So.
Understood, man. Like, everybody has to go with what's comfortable with them, and there's plenty of strategies to use. Me, I just started posting a page a day during weekdays of my different comics on my Patreon. So far I got no action, but as it gets harder probably for me to keep up with that pace, is maybe when people will take mercy on me and throw me a buck or something.
Sure.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against. In fact, I was originally very pro, just like throw everything there, and then at the very end, when it's really an end, then that's when you make your trade paperback, right? And the book is still basically supposed to be a trade paperback, but since we've been selling single issues a little bit, I wanted to at least experiment with, with seeing if there was any greater incentivizing of the full book by doing that cutoff thing. I don't know. I mean, in the end, I'm finding that we sell way more books, and I'm sure everybody here has the same experience. I always sell more books at conventions, direct, contact. Always, just always leads to that, a sale. And that's actually, conventions are our main distribution platform. It's not carried by Diamond. There are some stores who have dealt with us directly, which is great. I would never use Diamond anyway, but it's it's actually kind of sold all right, considering it has had what would be usually a pretty horrible distribution method. It seems direct to consumer and direct to a retailer is at least for us been eminently doable and desirable over giving someone 45% cut of a book that they're probably antagonistic to distributing in the first place. So.
Well, you said face-to-face, like nothing beats, conventions, because you face-to-face and fans, see you in person, and talk with you a little, and shake your hand or whatever, take a picture with you. It makes all the difference to making a sale.
That's what I think. Yeah, not for everybody, but I just see it as an extension, actually a healthy extension of what happens when you put up a webcomic and entice people to read your book, and that is also one-to-one transmission and in a sense a sale. So I think kind of like extending that to direct sales through comic conventions or doing a store appearance or something is really just sort of like you're bringing the website in your hand and saying, here's the website, you want to buy the website? It's right here in this book, and and the thing that's great is we get everything over printing, minus an occasional postage situation, but I mean, other than that, everything goes back in the till. So I don't know, I'm not so hot to trot about distributors, like I'm not interested, even if like the readership got to a quantity where we could use a print ninja or something where we could do 2,000 copies or something at a shot and get a really good price break. I'm not sure I'm interested, or we're interested, in engineering all that financing and price break simply to be able to make money for Diamond, which is really what we would be doing when we could try to continue the business model we've been working with and pocket even more money,
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's like one day I may go through Diamond, but I'm not planning it anytime soon. I'm just gonna sell stuff on my own fumes, pure will. You know, I have a magic green ring, so that usually works.
Yeah. I would just rather spend a week calling 150 of the top indie selling comic book stores in the country. Although that number probably now is more like 75, right? But whatever it is, and in Canada, right? And just say, let me send you this book for free, and you just read the book and you tell me if you want to carry the book, right?
Yeah.
I would rather do that. I'd rather spend all day on the phone doing that for 2-3 days. And and get the mail.com free scale and just do it at home, you know?
But small publishers, I hear, like, you know, they send PDFs to store owners or you know, would-be reviewers, you know, to get the word out and make sales. They just
that's what people do with me. They send me PDFs of the books, and I read them and review them.
Yeah, that's what works for you.
Yeah, that's what people send to me. I mean, I'm an independent reviewer, so I review. I mean, almost everything I've got here has been sent or through a Kickstarter. But no, I read lots of stuff that people review them because I love doing video reviews. It works really well, and it's meant that some of the people that I've done it for who don't have like the best careers, I've been able to help them network with other publishers or other editors and things like that, which makes me really happy that I'm helping people connect with each other. I mean, even if it does nothing for me, I mean, I do everything that I do for free. Like, I'm not paid to do anything that I do. I do it because I want to give back to the industry because it makes me happy to do that.
Sure.
I mean, the Good Guides thing is completely non-profit for me. But yeah, I mean, I love doing it.
By the way, I just sent you my email. If you could send me that info you were talking about, that'd be great.
Yeah, I will see if I can find the email addresses and the links for them and get it all sent through to you.
Yeah, I just put it in the group chat so you can.
Yeah, no, I can see it. Yeah, it just means that I will. I'll just have to speak to a few people and find out all the information because it's been a couple of years.
Thanks.
It's okay, no problem at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go in just a few minutes, but like, for those people who are self-publishing, you know, what's their current mode of distribution and promotion? I mean, what's been successful, or are you guys or are people at a point where they don't consider it to be a success yet, but it's like on the way, or how is that going?
I know for me, comic conventions, much like you, that is the main way that I move a lot of books. Secondarily, I sell books through my website online, but most of those sales are a rollover from doing those conventions. Usually, I'll see people a few weeks later, and maybe they bought issue 1. They're like, "Well, I'll get 3, 4, and 5 now."
Yeah.
Like, and I can see the city where they came from when the orders came in, so I know it's from that area. Maybe they just picked up a postcard. I live in Los Angeles, and there's a couple of local shops that do carry my work, but it's only because I've did like in-store events that were just sort of like, you know, comic community outreach. And while I was there, I met the buyers of the store. I said, "Okay, this sounds interesting. We'll carry a few copies." So it's not something where I have any major distribution. Although my reasons for not going through Diamond are a little different from yours. For me, I did put my first graphic novel out through Diamond. And even though I didn't get large orders, I mean, it was enough to meet the minimum cutoff for a graphic novel from somebody that had no track record. So I feel like that unto itself, even getting in and meeting the cutoff order, was an accomplishment. I was proud of that. The problem for me is that is scheduling. Because I have a day job, I can't. Usually, I'm lucky if I can get 2 issues a year out. When I originally started doing self-publishing, my goal was to be quarterly, which, while not great and not even bi-monthly or monthly, for somebody doing the whole thing by themselves, a quarterly comic book would be an amazing schedule to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And by the way, we all know that those people who are into that stuff, it wouldn't matter what the genre is, but are into self-made comics, absolutely are aware of that kind of conditions of publication, and they're used to it, and that's why they're amazing fans, because, you know, they're actually more committed to the material we produce than any other casual reader that might just like see it within the the constant flow of books at a comic store. So to me they're actually more valuable buyers, and more valuable customers.
Yeah. I should also mention I do see some traction on Comixology. Not a lot, but every quarter when they send, I get like a quarterly statement and a small check from them. So, maybe it's like the equivalent of selling one issue a month, or like 1 or 2 issues a month of a comic, and over the course of, so I may end up selling 10 or 12 copies per quarter. And it's just people that have been sort of following my work along or discover it, and we'll go and order like either the graphic novel I have or like, a couple issues of the comic I'm currently doing. So
Comixology has been a great help for me because it's allowed me to actually read comics because I can't go to the local store. I can't leave my house, so I can't go to the store and buy comics. So I've only bought a few things on Comixology, but it's allowed me to at least have something.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like the beauty of Comixology is that it's outreach for people who, for whatever reason, still have the bias that they would never actually set foot in a comic shop. But then the beauty is that I think people have seen that the digital has helped draw more people into comic shops, because after buying a bunch of digital books, they're like, oh, there's all this cool stuff. Maybe I should go see what's in a comic shop. And that the two kind of work hand in hand. Because I know there's stuff I buy digital that are books that I probably wouldn't want to keep, but I'm just curious to see what's going on in that issue. And then there's books that I feel like I want this for the story and the art, and I know I'm going to reread it. If it's something I'm going to reread, that I'll buy in print. So,
right.
Yeah.
No, that's totally reasonable.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get a complete collection of the Dragon Ball manga, and it's just like, so much money! I want the collection.
Good luck. Anyway.
Yeah, I looked up like a couple $100.
It's just anybody that it's what I've noticed, and my observation is that people that buy digital comics, they, it's great for when they can't get to a store, or they can't get to just based on their location or just travel or whatever your reason may be. What I've noticed is a lot of people they own the digital comic book and they want the actual printed book. Hey, I'd love to get the printed book. Is there any way I can order it from the creator directly? Sure, of course you can. Yeah, and that to me makes it worth it, because I'll go through the trouble of shipping it. Hell, I'll even ship it for free because I know that same person really loved my work and they downloaded it from somewhere, but they want the printed book. I'm like, yeah, sure. But shipping's on me, and I don't mind jumping, even if it's like overseas.
Yes, Scott, I think there's some. Is anyone else hearing his mic?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Scott, there's something wrong with your mic.
Yeah, it's pretty crunchy.
Let's try some.
Almost hear what you were saying.
Yeah. Either it's a connection issue or your microphone needs to be like unplugged and plugged back in.
No, don't say that.
It's kind of going between like squeaky robot voice and then normal voice, and then it disappears again. I could tell that you were trying to say that buying direct from the publisher or buying direct from the creator, and then it was kind of squeaky.
How about we try this? Can anybody hear me clearly now?
No.
No, it's still doing it.
Sorry.
How about now?
Maybe try refreshing the Hangout.
Maybe. Have you tried turning off and turning on your computer?
Sorry. That's relatively funny for me.
The first thing that IT people always tell you, have you tried restarting it?
Have you tried taking your coffee cup out of the CD holder?
You would be surprised. You would be surprised how many times that has happened.
And now click send. I'm trying to click send, but I can't find it. There's no send on my keyboard.
Some people just should not have computers.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
This blue screen keeps popping up.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I think this was a very good episode. Here's nobody else will be joining us for today. So I say we wrap it up. So going from left to right, if Eric is around at the moment. Anything you want to add, or just sign out with your YouTube channel?
Yeah, yeah. You can pretty much just search me up on YouTube or Tumblr, Eric Faries. You'll find me on both of those. Those are my two main medium. Where on YouTube I post art videos, I post tutorials, which I need to get back into, and anytime I'm working on a project, I will try to post videos of that. And then obviously final products go on Tumblr, so you can find me there.
You update your YouTube channel name?
My what?
YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, it's still Eric Faries 123 at the end of it, which is annoying. I don't know what I'm gonna have to contact YouTube and see if there's any way I can get it to get rid of that thing, because it screwed up the first time I tried to make the account.
Yeah, they changed so many things. I think it's actually easier for people to make a URL that is their name or whatever business now than it was when I joined, because yeah, mine's half right.
Yeah, back when I did it, there was no options. There was nothing I could do. So maybe I can change it now.
Yeah. All right, then we have Gerimi. Anything you should add, or just put out your URLs?
Oh yes, my URLs. Basically, you can find everything at my website, which is optichouse.com, all one word. From there, you can link to my YouTube channel, my blog, my mailing list that I send out once a week, a newsletter of everything I'm working on, my Amazon page. Yeah, everything from there.
Awesome. And on your Amazon page, you got your comics and.
Yeah, I've got my graphic novel, Eye of the Gods, which is a psychological thriller, and then I've got my current series, Morning Star, which is Lucifer's Fall from Heaven, told as a Western. So you can check all those things out there.
That's great.
Awesome.
That sounds fun.
We got to hook up with the weird Western angle now.
There you go. And Greg, you gave me all your URLs, but I want to say them one last time.
Yeah, sure. So you can find me at flameape.org, and you can find Vermont Comic Creators at vermontcomiccreators.com, and also on Facebook. And I'm also on Facebook. And if you want to read the comic Holiday Mountain Madness, you can go to Holiday with 2 L's, holidaycomic.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Pippa?
Hello. Yep, you can find me on the Google Guides. So you can find that on Facebook. You can just type in the Google Guides, and it's the same with the Facebook link. It's at Google Guides on Twitter, and I think it's the Google Guides with underscores on Instagram and Tumblr. But we're kind of quiet on Instagram and Tumblr. It's the other half of the Google Guides that tends to do that, because I don't do any photography or art, and she does. So I'm purely on the writing side of it mostly. But yeah, anything that looks like a decapitated hand with our logo on it, you're in the right place.
Cool. And Scotty?
Squeaky Mike, yeah. I will post a link in Messenger for Peter to kind of show off later on, but if you want to, you can go to legendofmonkeyronin.wix.com, or you can just look up Scotty's Comic Dojo and Figure Art Studio.
It is getting really noisy all of a sudden.
Yeah. We're losing you a little bit, Scotty, but I'll make sure your links are
Yeah.
or in the description box below the video.
It's happened before. Oh, dang it.
It's okay. We still love you. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining us today. Daniel for trying. I think he's gonna get a new computer so he can get in here. You could support my studio. Go to patreon.com/PeterPalmiati, and all that I do, which includes Studio Synergy, which is weekly, and yeah, if you haven't, like this video, share it with your friends, leave us a comment. Anything that interests you that you want to see us discuss next time, please let us know. And yeah, that's it. That's it for today's show. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you.